I got my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
Okay, sir.
Cream, get the money. Dollar bills, y'all. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Moving up with the Miclettes.
Moving on up.
My name's Joseph.
And I'm Sherri.
And what are we talking about today?
Today we are discussing money mindset. All right, so today we're just discussing what our money mindsets have been basically throughout our life. So we're gonna try to touch on the decades, starting with the teens, 20s, 30s, and going from there. So what was your mindset in your teens? What were your thoughts on finances? Like, what you spend your money on?
I was saving my money from all of the chores that I was doing, and I was saving my money from my allowances, and I was using them to either go buy comic books or baseball cards. And really it was baseball cards more than anything. I also had a little side hustle in middle school and high school where I was selling lunches. I didn't tell my mom this.
Entrepreneur.
Yeah, right? I didn't say anything to my mom about this until I was an adult. But yeah, I was taking multiple lunches to work and selling my sandwiches and juices and whatnot. And then I was standing in the lunch line and keeping whatever change my friends would give me just for standing in line, getting them food at the same time I was getting food. And so for me, it was saving, and then spending it on things that I had hobbies in.
So you was hustling in high school.
I was hustling in high school. I had some legal hustles, you know. What about yourself?
Well, for me, I mean, I did have a job in high school, but it was also, I need to get my nails done. I need to make sure my hair was looking good. I need to go shopping every week. You know what I mean?
You had the Diva in Training.
I did.
Yes, the Diva in Training starter pack.
Yes. And like I said, I did have a job, but that money was just, I'd get it and it would go, you. As my parents used to say, your pocket is just itching with that money and it's just to spend it.
Yeah.
That was all true. So, like I said, nails, hair, clothes. That was basically where my money went as a teen, and I wasn't thinking anything otherwise.
Yeah.
Spending money on just, at lunch, $20 a day, and it's like, what the heck? What did I buy? Yeah, just
frivolous
with it.
Nails done, hair done.
All that.
But you were looking good though, huh?
I was cute.
You was cute, no.
20s. What was your 20s like? What was your money mindset in your 20s?
So this is where we're going to start getting into some trouble. Because young Joseph was working, making his own money, and he was holding on to quite a bit of that money because of my living situation, my first few years of college that we've shared about in the past. So I was stacking some bread and I had some disposable income coming in. And at that time, I started DJing at around 21, 22 years old. And you could just imagine, I was spending hundreds of dollars every couple weeks on records. That was huge. So I would go to the mall, I would buy clothes. Right? So my main expenses that I was really using my personal finances for was clothing and records. Of course, buying necessities like food and gas. But in my early to mid 20s, I was spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars per month on records.
Were you investing?
Negative.
Okay.
I was definitely not investing whatsoever. And I would say this, I was investing into my record collection and I was investing into my clothing collection.
Yeah.
But that was it, man, and then I would say in my later 20s, it was spending money on going out with you.
We trying to blame me. For you not having no money.
And what about yourself? What were your 20s like?
So in my 20s, at the beginning, I think I had like 2 jobs. I was working at a restaurant and then like a copy place. And, I was saving the money, but then I would spend it. I'd go on trips to like New York and stuff and then just blow it all on shopping.
Yep, exactly.
But that was also around the time, like 22, that I got like my first job out of college. And at that time, I actually was investing in the 401k plan, but you could put like a certain percentage, and I made sure I put like the least amount possible in there, because I'm like, I need my money.
Yeah.
And even though I didn't necessarily need my money to go spend it on frivolous stuff, as always, that was my thought process.
Yeah.
And it was just, okay, well, I'm still investing, that's years down the line. I'm not really worried about retiring, blah, blah, blah. And, so I had credit card debt, and from going on trips and just using the credit card on whatever I wanted. But I think probably around the middle of that, I was like, you know what? That was kind of around the time where we were deciding to buy a house.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, well, we need to get all our credit card debt paid off. And we need to open up, 2 forms of credit lines and blah, blah, all that stuff. So I had actually paid off the credit card, all of it.
We paid off credit cards actually multiple times.
Yeah.
We actually did that. We paid off your credit card, my credit card off a few times.
Yeah. So, in my 20s, paid that off, and then we purchased a home, and at that time, we were gung-ho about it. We're like, we got to save up all our money, for a down payment and for furniture, and we did that, and at that time, had no credit card debt. So we were pretty good on that. Still, towards that, really investing very minimal into my 401, and I think around that time, you had already started working as a teacher, and you were, enrolled in the 403B, and...
But I wasn't adding more. And that's the one thing I will say, because I've been teaching since I was 26. I would say this. Again, short mindset, right? Short time frame mindset. Not thinking long term. Short term, right? Like you. Why do I need to invest? I'm not retiring yet. We need to pay for this credit card, or we got to pay rent, or we got to save for a house, and we got to pay off this and pay off that. Man, had I just extended the amount of money that I was putting into my 403B, or even opened a Roth IRA at 26 years old, things would be so different by now.
They would. But once again, it's our mindset. Maturity comes with age, as people say.
And a lot of wisdom comes with mistakes.
Exactly. And then towards the end of our 20s, we started, my 20s, started having children.
Yeah.
And then that's when the credit card debt started coming back, buying diapers and, car seats and strollers and all kinds of mess. And, the credit card debt started slowly creeping back in. Yeah. And at that time, we were just like, okay, well, we just got to pay it, so we paid it. And it was like just paying credit card interest and not really concerned or really too worried about it. We're just like, oh, well, that's normal. Yeah. Had just got 2 brand new cars, and was living that American dream.
Right. The American dream.
So what about your 30s?
So like you just mentioned, right? My 30s were really about traveling, right? And having a family. Yeah. So we did a lot of traveling very early on in my 30s. Yeah. And then that's when we started having children as well. And so, buying stuff for the house, going on quite a few trips, which were amazing. Like, I don't regret that whatsoever. Those experiences have helped shape us become the people who we are.
But I will say, with those trips, we actually would put it on a credit card, but pay it off immediately. So that was before kids, though. And we had that money that we were like, okay, let's do this trip and then pay it off, and it was good. Yeah.
And then the rest has really just been about paying for children, all the costs, that are
associated.
Thank you. All the costs that are associated with having a family, and that's what my 30s have been like. What about yourself?
So I'm still in my 30s.
Yeah.
But
barely. She's barely.
I still got like 3 more years. Stop hating. It was having a credit card debt, and then in our early 30s, we were like, okay, well, we wanted to remodel our house and add on a new master bedroom and extend the house and add to the square footage and all that, and that was quite a hefty bill. Yep. And
still paying part of that bill.
Still paying, like we're almost there. We're about to knock it all out. But
we'll make a video on that too.
But when we were doing that, it was like, okay, well, let's go ahead and refinance, lower the mortgage, let's, pull out escrow and do all that. Still, mindset not thinking we need to start investing more, putting more towards our future, retiring and thinking about everything that comes with that. I don't regret remodeling because I love, our house now and our new master suite and all of that. And it's been about 3 years, but, that was a major thing. But then after that, then it was like the credit card bills started creeping up again.
Yeah.
Because before when we refinanced, we paid it all off, but then they started creeping back up and we're like,
how is this happening?
Exactly.
How is this happening?
Yeah. And then it got to the point, where it was like, okay, all we're doing is paying interest on these credit cards and they just don't seem to be going down. Like if we're putting $400 or $500 a month on a credit card,
we should see some decreases.
Exactly. But I mean, I guess when your bill is like $20,000 and you're only putting the minimum, which at that point was like $400, like it wasn't budging.
Yeah.
So I think that's when things kind of started to shift.
Yeah.
And
about 2.5 years ago.
Yeah. So what was like the shift for you?
Feeling like you have this money, you have your income, right? You have money coming in and you're paying down debt and you don't feel like you're ever getting out of that big pool of debt, right? You're putting in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars per month between the two of us and nothing seems to be working. When you're paying your credit card bill and then you realize all you did was pay the minimum and all you did was pay off the interest. And then the next month, your bill is actually more than the previous month, even though you put nothing on it. And you're like, wait a minute, how is this even possible? How is that happening? And that was a big part for me, just realizing that we only have so much money that we can throw at this debt and it's going nowhere. And then secondly, feeling like once we started adding multiple streams of income through different side hustles and still felt like we were not making any progress, that was the other aspect that really hit me because I'm thinking, wait a minute, we've got more money coming in and still not making progress.
Yeah.
Something has to change. What is the one thing that has to change? And I think for us, it was the mindset, right? Start paying yourself first was part of it. But then to your strength, being able to budget and stick to a plan, right? Create a plan for your money and stick to that plan.
Yeah. And I think also in my mid-30s, that was around the time where I started watching more personal finance videos and determining like, okay, well, we're one of the millions of people who are trapped in all this debt. How do we get out of it?
Yep.
So, I started trying to devise a plan and like, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to tackle first. This is how we're going to do it. Like, you're bringing in this money that you're bringing in, it can go here. Like, this is how we can reallocate. And I think that's when things started to shift and started to, things started to go down and, our finance knowledge started to increase. And then at that time, that's when we also started getting a little bit more involved and interested in investing and knowing like, okay, I don't want to be working for the rest of my life.
For sure.
Let's start looking into retirement now.
Yeah. And so it's not just one tier, right? This is multi-tiered or multi-level, multi-layered thinking. It's not just about paying debt. That's part of it. Saving money, allocating money into different savings accounts, finding a way to make passive income, finding a way to save as much of your money as possible because you can make millions of dollars. If you're spending more money than you make, it doesn't matter.
Gonna be broke.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how much you make. So it's not about the amount of money that you make. It's the amount of money that you make and can save.
Exactly.
Right?
Spending habits, money mindset.
Exactly.
So like he said, if you're making $1 million, but you're like, oh, well, I'm making $1 million. Let me just go out and buy this. And you start buying just stuff without really paying attention to where your money is going or how much is coming out. Then at the end of the month, you're like, oh, shoot, I spent $20,000 over my budget. And that can start to affect whether or not your debts are gonna start piling up, whether you're saving money. So you have to be more conscious of things like that, and your mindset needs to shift in order to say, okay, I want to start saving. That needs to be my focus. Or I want to start paying off this debt. That needs to be my focus. So your focus you need to hone your focus in regards to what you want to do with your money. So with all that said, what is something you would tell your younger self in regards to personal finances and growing and maturing and the knowledge that you would need?
I would definitely say to myself, it's okay to spend money on things that you want. It's okay to spend the money on hobbies. It's okay to spend money on things that you want to do for yourself and enjoy life with. However, you have to be more responsible and more conscious with the way that you allocate your money, and make sure that you are putting money away towards some sort of future investment that's going to earn money and compound over time. And again, I had a big spending habit when it came to hobbies and collectibles in my 20s. I would still say to myself that it's okay to do those things, right? Because that's who I am. That's who I've always been. But just to be more wise, to be more smart in the decisions of making sure that you're still allocating some money for your future.
Yeah, I would probably say budget it out. Like, you know, as a teen, as 20s, 30s,
Absolutely.
you, like you said,
Absolutely.
you know, I would tell myself, yeah, you could spend on the hobbies and the fun, but make sure you're thinking about your future. So always put, you know, something aside. Try to look into, you know, things that will help your money grow. So instead of just, you know, the savings accounts, if you could find even at that time a high interest CD account, or, you know, if you can go ahead and start learning about investments. Not necessarily that you have to start investing, but just start honing your knowledge and seeing, okay, well, this is what I'm going to need to do in the future. And just not going out there spending all your money on shopping and nails and hair. You know, give yourself a set limit and be like, all right, this is what I have for the month to spend on. Starting that habit, I would say, would help. Thank you so much for joining us for our money mindset throughout decades. You know, make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and keep moving up with the Miclettes.
And let us know what your money mindset has been over your lifetime and where you are now and how you're moving forward.